I'm Unger to the Max, coming at you with this week's episode of Talking Football via the Sports Room Talk Show on the Unger to the Max YouTube channel. First of all, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel recently. I really and greatly appreciate it. Second of all, you probably noticed that I didn't do a video collaboration to preview the Thursday Night Football matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. Well, that's because I had a very chaotic week this week. We were sitting Shiva because my grandma Marcia unfortunately passed away early Friday morning. Her funeral was Sunday, and then we sat Shiva Sunday, the day of the funeral, Monday afternoon and Monday night, Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night, and then Wednesday night. So I didn't have a lot of time to do a video collaboration. So hopefully you understand that. I get it. I haven't been able to complete my goal with that. It's okay. I've had legit reasons for why I haven't been able to do it. First 2 years, medical reasons. This year, family emergency. So, please understand that. I am going to continue to try and do video collaborations for every game on the Browns schedule. Starting with this upcoming week against Atlanta, I am talking to David, aka Sports Live in the ATL. And we are trying to coordinate something so that we can do a Browns-Falcons video collab. And then the other thing I want to address is, yes, I am wearing a Tampa Bay Lightning hat. I am not actually a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, although I don't dislike the Tampa Bay Lightning. Actually, no. Yeah, I don't dislike the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I don't like them either. I'm basically indifferent about them. But that's not the point. The point is this. Unless I'm doing like a Cleveland Browns video collaboration or a Cleveland Cavaliers video collaboration, you're going to see me wear a different team's hat for every video. I'm going to start doing that. I might even wear a Golden State Warriors hat from time to time. You know I don't like the Warriors, but I like to wear a different hat for every video, and I want to start doing that. It's not always going to be a hockey team. It's, like I said, maybe next video I wear a Golden State Warriors hat. Maybe the video after that, I wear a Cleveland Guardians hat. Although, I don't have any Guardians hats, so it would be Cleveland Indians. Whatever. Maybe the hat after that, I wear Villanova. So, I'm going to start doing that. I think it makes the video more interesting if every video I'm wearing a different team's hat. Alright, so now that we got that little bit of business out of the way, let's get into today's video. So currently, right now, I am watching Clemson take on Wake Forest. You can see it right there. That's all you get in terms of game footage, though. I don't want to get involved in copyright stuff. I already got involved in that once before. So, yeah. But right now, Clemson, the number 5 team in the country, is taking on number 21 Wake Forest. It is 17-14. Clemson has the ball. 3 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and 4. Clemson is on offense. They are just a little bit short of the 50-yard line. Here's the snap. Uyangale throws it to the wide receiver, and are they going to say that's a catch? Yes, they are. 1st and 10, Clemson, and they are on the Wake Forest side of the field. 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Anyway, so we've got that game going on today. We've also got I believe it's number 20 Florida taking on number 11 Tennessee at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Let me double check to make sure that's correct. Yes, it is number 20 Florida against number 11 Tennessee. Tennessee is currently a minus 10.5 point favorite. That game will kick off in about 2 hours at at 15:30, aka 3:30 on CBS. Tonight you've got a Big Ten showdown. Wisconsin is taking on number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State is currently a minus 19-point favorite. I don't think they'll cover that spread. Wisconsin always seems to play Ohio State tough. And I know Ohio State put up big numbers these last 2 weeks, but come on. They were playing Toledo and Arkansas State. I'm just going to dismiss those games. Go over there. Yeah, Ohio State against Arkansas State. Ohio State won that game 45-12. And then against Toledo last week, Ohio State won 77-21. Which, by the way, I said this in my eulogy for my grandma Marcia on Sunday, but I'll say it here. It was fitting that Toledo was playing Ohio State last Saturday because my grandma Marcia actually grew up in Toledo, and she absolutely loved the Ohio State Buckeyes, especially the Ohio State Marching Band. If the Ohio State Marching Band was being shown on TV, you didn't want to try and talk to my grandma Marcia. No, because you would feel the wrath of Marcia. I'll say it like that. She loved Ohio State. It's, like I said, especially the marching band. Like, if they cut to a commercial when Script Ohio was about to start, yeah, you were going to feel the wrath of Marcia. But, so that's my little tribute. I want to make sure I want to keep her in my thoughts. Yeah. But anyway, so those last 2 games against Arkansas and Toledo, I don't care about those games. They mean nothing to me. Because Arkansas State, Toledo, they're little nothings. No offense to the MAC, or I think Arkansas State is in the Sun Belt, maybe? I have no idea. Yep, Arkansas State is in the Sun Belt. Which, hey, Appalachian State is doing well, so I'll give the Sun Belt some credit. And Marshall did beat Notre Dame, although that's not saying much because Notre Dame is struggling this year. But anyway, Ohio State only put up 21 points against Notre Dame. And I get it. At the time, Notre Dame was ranked number 5 in the country. So, it was going to be a tough game for Ohio State. I totally get that. But before the season, we were talking about it's Ohio State, it's Alabama, who I will address in a few minutes, and it's Georgia. It's those 3, and it's everybody else. Nobody else has a chance. And Ohio State just didn't come out and put it together for me in that game. I get it. Again, Notre Dame was ranked number 5 in the country coming into that game. So they were going to give Ohio State a tough matchup. No disrespect to the Fighting Irish by any means, but I was just wanting to see a little bit more from Ohio State. Now, I'll give Notre Dame credit. They played the two high safety look and forced Ohio State to be a little bit more conservative. We've seen the same type of thing in the NFL with defenses going to that too high safety look against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs had to adjust. And they're off to a 2-0 start. So, clearly they're doing something right. I have no idea how Eric Bieniemy still hasn't gotten a head coaching job. But we can discuss that at a different time. Anyway, so Ohio State plays Wisconsin, like I said. They're minus 19-point favorites. I don't think Ohio State is going to cover that spread. I know they have C.J. Stroud, they have Jackson Smith and Jigba, they have Trevion Henderson. They've got some nice pieces offensively. But you're starting Big Ten play. And generally, playing teams in your own conference is a lot harder. I'll give you the remainder of Ohio State's schedule, because they do have some tough games on their remaining schedule, actually. They host Wisconsin tonight, which, again, I think Wisconsin, though the Badgers will not upset the Buckeyes, I think the Badgers will keep the game much closer than the experts are making it out to be. Then they play Rutgers, which Rutgers, in this case, I know I just said generally the Big Ten is tough and the game should be fairly close, but I think Ohio State's going to destroy Rutgers. But then Ohio State, after playing Rutgers, the Buckeyes have to go to East Lansing and play Michigan State. I smell a possible upset in East Lansing between the Buckeyes and the Spartans. After that, the Iowa Hawkeyes will come to Columbus, Ohio to take on Ohio State. That's going to be a very challenging game. Iowa always seems to play Ohio State very difficult. I believe last time Ohio State played at Iowa actually pulled off the upset. So, yeah. After that, they come to State College in Happy Valley to take on We Are Penn State. So, as a Penn State fan, yeah, I'm picking up Penn State to win that game. And although Ohio State beat us last year, I thought we played really well. It was 33-24, I think the final score was. So it wasn't a blowout by any stretch. Let me double check. Let me look at the 2021 schedule. Yeah, 33-24. And the year before that, Ohio, it was 38-25. 2019, it was 28-17. Ohio State won. 2018, Penn State and Ohio. 2018, it was 27-26. 2017, it was 39-38. And 2016, we all know what happened. That was 24-21 with the blocked field goal. So, as you can see, Ohio State always gets tested by Penn State, and I don't expect that to be any different. However, I do have a gripe, because from what I understand, this year, the whiteout, which usually happens against either Michigan or Ohio State, although last year we did the whiteout for our non-conference game against Auburn, but how often do you have a team from the big bad SEC come to a Big Ten school? Not very often. So, Penn State definitely made the right call by doing the whiteout for that game. But from what I understand, this year's whiteout game is not going to be against Ohio State. The whiteout game is actually going to be against Minnesota. Which I'm just like, wait, what? Why? Why? No, the whiteout is... I get it. I just don't like it. So, one quick other complaint, actually, about Penn State. And I am a Penn State fan. Don't get me wrong. I have been for a while now, anyway. There's two things I have to complain about with Penn State. One, as much as I love the plain white helmets, I want there to be some type of logo. It's the same complaint I have with the Cleveland Browns. I just don't like a plain helmet. I like some type of logo in the middle of the helmet. Something. And then the other thing with Penn State is they have no logo at the 50-yard line. And I want that to change. I'd like to see the primary logo be in the middle of the field or something. Maybe just have like some sort of paw print or something. Although Clemson might have an issue with that because they have their logo as a paw print and that's what they have in the middle of their field. But you get my point. I just would like to see something be in the middle of the field. Anyway, so after Penn State, Ohio State will be at Northwestern. I could very well see Northwestern pulling that upset. Then Ohio State hosts Indiana. Then they're at Maryland. And then they host Michigan. So that's a tricky Big Ten schedule for Ohio State. I'll give it to you one more time. Wisconsin, Rutgers, Michigan State, Iowa, Penn State, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan. And the away games in that stretch are Michigan State, Penn State, Northwestern, and Maryland. The home games, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Iowa, Indiana, and Ohio and Michigan. Okay, so do I think Ohio State is ultimately going to end up in the college football playoff? Yes, but I think there are some games, like I mentioned, where they could possibly get upset. The most likely games where that could happen: at Michigan State, at Penn State, at Northwestern. I could see Iowa upsetting them in Columbus, possibly, and then hosting Michigan. I don't see Indiana upsetting Ohio State. I don't see Maryland upsetting Ohio State. And I certainly don't see Rutgers upsetting Ohio State. Okay, so that was my little Ohio State tangent. But I want to stay with college football. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So currently, by the way, it is halftime. Clemson is up 20-14 against Wake Forest. All right, so Arkansas is playing Texas A&M today in a neutral site game at Jerry's World, a.k.a. AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. This game is going to be interesting because I think if Arkansas wins today and Alabama beats Vanderbilt, which they should, College Game Day is going to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas next week. 100%. Because you've got Alabama, who is currently number 2 in the country, traveling to Arkansas to take on the number 10 Razorbacks. So as long as both teams win, it's 100% guaranteed College Game Day will be in Fayetteville, Arkansas for the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I'm going to say it right now. Going into that game, Arkansas will upset Alabama. Yes, I am locking it in at 13:42 on Saturday, September 24th. I am saying it. Alabama will be upset by Arkansas next week in Fayetteville. And really, that should be Alabama's second loss of the season. However, when they were playing Texas back on September 10th, in Texas had just taken the lead. And I think I'm the one who caused Alabama to win that game. Yeah, I'm going to take some responsibility. I know I'm just some YouTuber living in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm just some random sports fan that loves football. And I'm just some YouTuber that has 462 subscribers. Which, again, thank you to all the subscribers. Or thank you to all the people who have subscribed to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, what the heck are you waiting for? Punch that subscribe button like a UFC player and punch that like button. I want to get to 500 subscribers by the end of 2022. And then by the end of 2023, 600. 2024, 700, so on and so forth. I want to keep growing this YouTube channel. But anyway, so Texas had just taken, I think it was a 19-17 lead. And I wrote a Facebook post. I have since deleted that post, but I basically said, like, I think Alabama is going to lose this game. And then I took a look at their schedule, and I'm like, oh, there's some other games that I think Alabama could lose. Of course, I jumped the gun because we all know what happened. The Crimson Tide would go on to kick the game-winning field goal, and they escaped Texas by 1 point, 20-19. I think they should have dropped down farther in the standings. I think they only went from number 1 to number 2. Me, I would have dropped them down outside of the top 5, actually. I would have put them all the way down at number 6. Yeah, I would have. I would have moved Georgia to number 1. I would have put Ohio State number 2. I would have had number 3 be Michigan. Number 4 would have been Clemson. And number 5, I would have done... Let's see, let me look. No, I want to look at the top 25 right now. Alright. So I would have done Georgia number 1, Ohio State 2, who did I say would have been 3? Who did I say would have been 3? I would have had Georgia 1, Ohio State 2. Oh, Michigan 3, Oklahoma 4, USC 5, and then Alabama 6. That's what I would have done. But what do I know? I'm just some YouTuber. Whatever. So, that's my opinion. But yes, I think I jinxed Texas, and that's what caused them to lose. So, Texas Longhorns, I sincerely apologize. I jumped the gun and said you were going to win, and then that jinxed you, so you ended up losing. So, yeah. Anyway, so, they're showing Kansas Duke highlights. Kansas is up 21-13 at halftime. Interesting. Baylor, Iowa State. Let's see. Baylor is ranked number 17 in the country. I actually did not know that. And Iowa State's 3-0, yet they're not ranked. Nice pass from the quarterback on a 4th and 2, and it's a touchdown for Baylor. So they go up 7-0. Here comes Iowa State. They come right back and score the touchdown. So it's 7-7. All right. 10-7 now. And Baylor gets the touchdown. They just started the third quarter. It is 17-14 Baylor. So that's a little bit of your halftime update. Right now, it is for Missouri-Auburn, the Battle of the Tigers. For some reason, the TV feed's not coming in. So let's see what's happening with Bowling Green, Mississippi State. It is a commercial right now. Mississippi State should destroy Bowling Green, though. No disrespect to Bowling Green, but it's the SEC against the MAC. Anyway, so today's a great day to be a football fan because we've got some great matchups, as I was just telling you. Like I said, we've got Clemson, Wake Forest going on right now. It is 20-14 Clemson at halftime. Maryland is actually giving Michigan a fight. Michigan is up 17-13 at halftime. You've also got Wisconsin taking on Ohio State. Arkansas is taking on Texas A&M. Florida is taking on Tennessee. That's where College Game Day was today. Let's see. Oregon is taking on Washington State. I like that matchup. Vanderbilt taking on Alabama. Alabama should roll. Utah is taking on Arizona State. I'm curious how Arizona State looks after getting rid of Herm Edwards as their head coach. USC is taking on Oregon State. I could see Oregon State pulling off the upset in that game. I really, really could. USC, I think this is going to be their first true test of the season. Because so far, USC has played, let's see, USC has played Rice, they played Stanford, and they played Fresno State. I know Stanford is in the Pac 12, but the Stanford Cardinals are not what they usually are, so USC won that game fairly comfortably. It was 41-28. They beat Rice in week 1, 66-14, and they beat Fresno State last week, 45-17. Now, I know with college football, or with any sport, you just play who you have on your schedule when you're supposed to play them. I get it. So, USC can't control what Fresno State looked like. USC can't control what Stanford looked like. USC can't control what Rice looked like. That's out of USC's control. I get it. You can only play who's on your schedule. But I think we're really going to find out a lot about USC today against Oregon State in Corvallis. I would not be surprised if Oregon State pulls off that upset. I really would not. Okay, so we spent about a half an hour talking about college football. Let's get to the NFL now. Because it's only week 3, and we've got some fantastic matchups. Actually, quick shout out to Albert Pujols last night at Dodger Stadium. He hit 2 home runs, so he has reached the 700 home run milestone. So congratulations to Albert Pujols. I wish he had done it in St. Louis, but if there was any visiting ballpark that I would have wanted him to do it in, it would have been Dodger Stadium, because it's Hollywood and the story just writes itself. Dodgers Cardinals in the NLCS, I really want to see that matchup. Not even just because of how well the two teams match up against each other, but just because of the storylines you would have in that series. With the Dodgers, you've got Vin Scully passing away, so the Dodgers want to win and honor Vin. And then on the other side with the Cardinals, Yadier Molina is retiring, Albert Pujols retiring, Adam Wainwright might retire. We don't know for sure. He hasn't said. And I think all 3 of them, Pujols, Molina, and Wainwright, are Hall of Famers. Notice I never said that all 3 are first ballot Hall of Famers. I just said all 3 are Hall of Famers. I think Pujols easily gets in on the first ballot. Molina, maybe it takes him a couple years to get in. Same thing with Wainwright. I don't think either of them get into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, but I think it would be a shame if either of them did not get in the Hall of Fame. I think that if, let's say, Wainwright gets left out, you can't put Yadier Molina in without including Adam Wainwright, because the two were tied at the hip. And think about it. They were part of 2 World Series championships with the Cardinals, 2006 and 2011. And 3 World Series appearances. 4, I believe. 2004, 2006, 2011, and 2013. So, yeah. So, congratulations again to Albert Pujols. You definitely earned it. And Aaron Judge has not tied Roger Maris's home run record yet. He is still sitting at 60 home runs. He needs 1 to tie Maris's American League record. And obviously he needs 2 to actually break the record. But yeah, that's your little baseball segment for today. Anyway, getting to the NFL now. So the Browns beat the Steelers 29-17 to improve their record to 2-1. Really, they should be 3-0 going into this Week 4 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. But I just submitted an article today for Dog Pound Daily, which is the Cleveland Browns page on Fanside, talking about how, starting with the Thursday night game against the Steelers, the Cleveland Browns are about to endure a very tricky 6-game stretch. And I did include the Thursday night game. So you had the Steelers on Thursday night. Then this coming week you've got Marcus Mariota, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and the Atlanta Falcons down in Atlanta. And then the Browns will come home for 2 games. First one being against Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Then you've got Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots coming to town. And then 2 straight AFC North games. First one will be at M&T Bank Stadium against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And then you come home to play Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, and the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals in round 1 of the Battle of Ohio on Monday Night Football. So that's a very difficult 6-game stretch because, again, it's at Falcons, home against Chargers, home against the Patriots, at the Ravens, home against the Bengals. I meant home against the Steelers, at the Falcons, home against the Chargers, home against the Patriots, at the Ravens, and then home against the Bengals. So you're seeing all 3 AFC North division opponents in the 6 games. You're seeing 2 dynamic offenses in the Bengals and the Chargers. And I know Marcus Mariota and Lamar Jackson don't have the same skill set because Lamar Jackson's like up here and Marcus Mariota's here. But I think they have similar playing styles in that they're both mobile quarterbacks who can hurt you if you let them use their legs. So, yeah. And then playing against Bill Belichick is always difficult. The Browns haven't beaten the Patriots since 2010. Even without Tom Brady last year, New England absolutely destroyed the Browns. I believe it was 45-7. So, yeah. New England might be struggling right now without Josh McDaniels as their head coach. Or, I'm sorry, without Josh McDaniels as their offensive coordinator. That's what I meant. But still, it's the Patriots. They've given us fits. Like I said, we have not beaten them since 2010. And then coming out of that 6-game stretch, you have a very difficult string of 3 games. At Miami, at Buffalo, home against Tampa Bay. And then, for Week 13, that's at Houston, which conveniently, that's when Deshaun Watson will make his Browns debut. Don't tell me the NFL didn't do that on purpose. They saw that Week 13 we are at Houston, so the NFL said, we love storylines. Deshaun Watson making his Browns debut in Houston against his former team? We don't want to do that. No, there won't be storylines around that game. No. Give me a break. You did that on purpose, and you know it, NFL. You totally did that on purpose. You can't deny it. So, anyway. So, for Week 3, we've got Raiders at the Titans. Both teams are 0-2, and if you drop to 0-3, I'm sorry, but your season is basically done. And both these teams have high expectations. Think about it. The Titans were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. Granted, they got eliminated in the divisional round by the Cincinnati Bengals, but at the same time, it did take a last-second field goal. The Raiders, they hired Josh McDaniels as their head coach. They go out and make a trade for Devontae Adams to pair with Derek Carr as their quarterback, along with Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs. And then defensively, they've got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. So, the Raiders, I believe I picked them to win the AFC West, which that pick is not looking good so far. Because the Chiefs are 2-0 and the Chargers are 1-1, so it looks like it'll be the two of them fighting to win the AFC West, which I also picked the Chiefs to finish last and miss the playoffs. So right now, that pick is looking pretty bad. But it's only week 3, so we'll see. But this is a must-win game. Ravens at the Patriots. Both teams are 1-1. Right now, Baltimore is currently a 2.5-point favorite. Oh, by the way, the Raiders are currently a 2-point favorite against the Titans in Tennessee. But for Ravens Patriots, this is the Patriots home opener because week 1 they were at Miami. Last week they were at Pittsburgh. Yeah. So the Ravens, they want to erase the memory of their 21-point collapse against the Miami Dolphins last week. And the Patriots, they showed some flashes of good things against the Steelers, but I'm still not sure about their offense without Josh McDaniels. I don't trust Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as offensive people. Like, if I'm Mac Jones, I'm just like, wait, who am I supposed to talk to about the offense and the play design and all that? Like, who am I getting the calls from? So, like, the Patriots were a playoff team last season. The Ravens, they're expected to be near the top of the AFC North. Some are even picking them to win the AFC North, which I can see that. But this is going to be a weird game. Eagles Commanders, I think the Eagles are legit. I think they're going to win the NFC East, and I'm going to say they're going to win the NFC East fairly comfortably. I really like what I've seen from Jalen Hurts to start the season. A.J. Brown has fit in perfectly with that Eagles offense. They're running the ball really well with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders, running back out of Penn State, by the way. We are Penn State. And Devontae Smith has been the Robin to A.J. Brown's Batman, so I really like what the Eagles are doing. And I don't trust the Commanders. I don't trust them. So Philadelphia's favorite is a minus 6.5-point favorite. Nah, that point spread's not big enough. I know, divisional games, it's a divisional game, so anything can happen, but Philadelphia should be a minus 8-point favorite at least. Actually, I would make Philadelphia, if it were up to me, I would say Philadelphia should be a minus 10-point favorite. And I think the Eagles will cover that spread easily. Rams Cardinals. I think last year's run for the Rams was a bit of a fluke. Like, they got blown out against the Bills week 1 in the Thursday Night Football season opener, and then they nearly allowed the Atlanta Falcons to break their 28-3 curse. It took a Jalen Ramsey interception to prevent that. So I don't know if I should fully trust the Rams. But with the Cardinals, like, I don't know what to make of the Arizona Cardinals. I really don't. They're without DeAndre Hopkins for the first 6 games because he's suspended. Kyler, I just think they're too Kyler dependent. So, the Rams are currently favored by 3.5. Meh. Falcons at Seahawks. Falcons, I'm going to be paying attention to this game because that's who the Browns play next. Falcons Seahawks, this game actually is really cool because it is Sports Live in the ATL, who I'm hoping to work with this coming week for Browns at Falcons, taking on Norbcam, the Seattle Seahawks YouTuber who I worked with in 2019, and hopefully I'll be working with him again in 2024. So, And then in 2025, it'll go back to the NFC East, 2026, NFC North, 2027, NFC South, 2028, NFC West. It's always that rotation. For the Browns, at least, it goes NFC East, NFC North, NFC South, NFC West. There's no deviation. That's how it is every time. So, yeah. Currently, the Seahawks are a minus 1 point favorite. So, basically a toss-em game. Seattle is 1-1. They won week 1 against Denver because Nathaniel Hackett was an absolute moron and did not use his timeouts correctly. And then week 2, they come back and lose against San Francisco. Meanwhile, Atlanta is 0-2. They were defeated by the New Orleans Saints 27-26. And then last week, they nearly came back against the Rams, but they ultimately fell short 31-27. So, it's going to be an interesting game. That's one of the... I don't know if that's a game people are talking about, really, but I think it's going to be one of the better games of the weekend. And then Packers, Buccaneers. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's Tom Brady. Will the real Tampa Bay Buccaneers please stand up? Please stand up. Because I don't know what to make of the Buccaneers right now. Yeah, they're 2-0. This is their home opener. But they only put up 19 points in week 1 on Sunday Night Football against America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. No, the Cowboys are not America's team. I would say that America's team is either the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Green Bay Packers, but whatever. But Tampa Bay only put up 19 points in week 1, and then they put up 20 points in week 2, which, by the way, that was Tom Brady's first regular season win last week against the New Orleans Saints since he arrived in Tampa Bay. Ooh, the second half is back between Clemson and Wake Forest. Wake Forest is now up 21-20, by the way. I'll keep giving you score updates. It is now 2 o'clock, so we are about an hour and a half away from Florida, Tennessee. I cannot wait for that game. I think that is going to be an absolute barn burner. I think it comes down to the last second. But I think Tennessee wins it with a last-second field goal. But anyway, we're talking NFL. So, I just don't know what to make of this Buccaneers offense. They're going to be without Chris Godwin. They're without Mike Evans, who is suspended. No Rob Gronkowski, at least for right now. I would expect around Thanksgiving, Gronk is going to come walking back through the door and be like, "Hey, I'm back." But I don't know if the Buccaneers are a legit 2-0. I really don't know. I have some concerns about the Buccaneers. With Green Bay, I have questions about Green Bay too. Like, Alan Lazard is coming back this week, I believe. Great. But who else does Aaron Rodgers have to throw to? I don't know. And you've got a very good dynamic duo of running backs, much like we have here in Cleveland with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. With Green Bay, it's Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So does Green Bay rely more on them in this game? It's a weird game. Right now, Tampa Bay is a minus 1 point favorite. I think that's fair. Tampa Bay's actually about to endure a bit of a tough 2-game stretch and luckily for them, both games are at home. This week they host Green Bay. Next week, it's a Super Bowl 55 rematch. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will be in town. So, other than that, you've got 49ers Broncos. Jimmy G is back in control for San Francisco now because Trey Lance unfortunately broke his ankle. I don't like what I've seen from the Denver Broncos right now. I really don't. Like, You bring in Russell Wilson to propel this team into, presumably, to win the AFC West and then go win the Super Bowl. But you struggle. Nathaniel Hackett is struggling right now. That's the best way I can put it. Like, the Broncos barely beat the Houston Texans last week, 16-9, and you lost to the Seahawks in week 1. And Nathaniel Hackett has been terrible with time management so far. Absolutely terrible. Now you're in prime time again for the second time in 3 weeks, because week 1 against Seattle, the Broncos were on Monday Night Football, and now this week they're on Sunday Night Football. I don't know. San Francisco is currently favored by 1.5. I could see the 49ers actually winning that game. I really could. Let's see. Texans, Bears, not that interesting. Chiefs, Colts, not that interesting. I think the Chiefs destroy the Colts. Lions, Vikings. The Lions are going to be a scrappy team. I'm glad they're not in the AFC North with the Browns. Although I have thought about a hypothetical division with the Browns. A hypothetical brand new AFC North, which would be the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Cleveland Browns. What do you think of that AFC North? Minnesota, Detroit, Indianapolis, Cleveland. What do you think? I think that would be a really fun division. It would be hard hitting, for sure. I'm going to go with the Lions, actually, to beat the Vikings. Ooh, Minnesota's currently favored by 6. See, Kirk Cousins, it's so weird with Kirk Cousins. It really is. Like, he goes out and has the type of game that he did in week 1 against Green Bay. Granted, that was mostly because Justin Jefferson, the Packers just refused to cover him for some reason. I have no idea why, but whatever. And the Vikings looked dominant. They win 23-7 or whatever it was. But then they come out in week 2 on Monday Night Football against Philadelphia, and they get absolutely dismantled. And it's like, wait, what the heck? What happened to the team I saw in week 1? So I just don't trust the Minnesota Vikings. Shout out to Minnesota Vikings fan 28. Can't wait to work with you again in 2027? Yeah, 2026. My bad, 2026. Because next year, 2026. I think I'm doing that math right. And then, so I'm going with Detroit. They put up 38 points, they put up 35 against Philadelphia, nearly came back. And then last week, they beat the Commanders. Which, I know, the Commanders, not much you can say about that, but I really like what I've seen from the Lions. I think if they can get a better quarterback, they would not be a team I want to see in the playoffs. Even this year, with Jared Goff as their quarterback, if I'm an NFC team, I'm like, no, I don't want to see Detroit on my schedule. No. Like, let's see. Who do the Lions have coming up? They've got Minnesota. Then they've got Seattle. Then they're at New England. At Dallas. Home against Miami. Home against Green Bay. At Chicago. At the Giants. They host Buffalo on Thanksgiving. Then they host Jacksonville. They host Minnesota. At the New York Jets. At Carolina. Home against Chicago. At Green Bay. That doesn't look like too intimidating of a schedule for Detroit. Like, there's some tough games on there. Like, at Green Bay, that's going to be tough. Both games against Minnesota. Home against Buffalo on Thanksgiving. That's going to be challenging. At the Giants, maybe. Home against Miami, challenging. Home against Green Bay, challenging. But I think Detroit can go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. I think Detroit can go into Chicago and beat the Bears. I think Detroit can go into New England and beat the Patriots. Detroit can, when Detroit hosts Seattle, yeah, the Lions can beat the Seahawks. When Detroit hosts Jacksonville, yeah, I could see the Lions beating the Jaguars. Lions at the Jets, I would pick the Lions in that game. So, yeah, I could see the Lions sneaking in as a playoff team based on what I've seen right now. I really could. You've got Bengals at the Jets. The Bengals, they were the darlings of the NFL last year. You know, they came out of nowhere and made it all the way to the Super Bowl. And they should have won that game last year against the Rams. Had it not been for a terrible offensive line, they probably would have won. Then again, they went out and spent $70 million to fix their offensive line. And what's been their biggest issue this year? Their offensive line. Dallas destroyed them in week 2, Pittsburgh wrecked them in week 1. So yeah. And now you got a tough New York Jets team who's finishing the third leg of their AFC North stretch. They're playing all 4 AFC North teams in 4 weeks. Week 1, they lost against Baltimore. Week 2, they beat the Browns because Joe Woods is an absolute moron and decided, you know what? No, we're going to leave Corey Davis wide open and let him score a touchdown. Yeah, because that makes total fucking sense. No, it doesn't. But I still, even though the Browns defense bounced back this week against Pittsburgh, I still say, fire Joe Woods. Fire Joe Woods. He's been here for too long. Way too long. But anyway, so the Jets 1-1. Bengals 0-2. Meh. Cincinnati's currently favored by 6. I would pick Cincinnati. Saints at Panthers. Meh. Not that interesting. Jaguars Chargers. I like this game a lot. I really do. The Jaguars, they shut out the Indianapolis Colts 24-0. The Chargers barely lost in week 2 on Thursday Night Football against the Chiefs. Maybe the Jaguars are going to be a sneaky good team that could reach the playoffs. Who knows? But this is a game to keep your eye on. Chargers are currently a minus 3-point favorite. I think that line should be smaller. I think the LA should only be favored by 1. Which, again, Chargers, you never should have left San Diego. You should still be in San Diego right now. Spanos, I hate you. Because guess what? LaDainian Tomlinson is my all-time favorite player. Period. End of story. I have been a huge LaDainian Tomlinson fan. But I also love Antonio Gates and Phillip Rivers. And guess what? When I was growing up, they were the San Diego Chargers, not the Los Angeles Chargers. Get out of here with that crap. No, they should still be in San Diego. Rams, same thing. You never should have left St. Louis. Stan Kroenke, you deliberately made the team as terrible as possible so that fans would not attend the game, and then you could say to the NFL, see, St. Louis doesn't care about football, so I'm just going to move them to Los Angeles. Get out of here with that bullshit. We know what you did, and Kroenke, I do not like you for that. So, Rams, I don't like you, because you deliberately made your team look as bad as possible so that you can move to Los Angeles. So, Rams, no. I don't like you. I do not like the Rams, period, end of story. Whew. Okay. We're almost at an hour here. But we're not done yet. Okay. Cowboys-Giants on Monday Night Football. Cowboys, they don't have Dak Prescott. They have Cooper Rush as their starting quarterback. Even with Cooper Rush, though, they were able to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals last week. And, of course, they have Micah Parsons, who can cause hell. So, the Giants need to be aware of that. The Giants are 2-0. But are they a legit 2-0? I'm having the same questions about the Giants as I am about the Buccaneers. Both teams are 2-0. But are they both legit 2-0s? I don't know. Like, is Brian Daboll actually changing Daniel Jones? Are we seeing something new from the Giants, or is this just an early paper tiger? I think that's the correct term, paper tiger. Because I don't know. Now notice, I left one game out, and that's because this is the game I'm most excited about. And I wish this was the Sunday night football game or Monday night football. Bills at the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Hold on. Sorry, just needed to respond to a text. But I saw an interesting stat the other day. I'll pull this stat up for you right now, actually. Let me just go into my email and look at this newsletter that I received. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so here's the stat with the Miami Dolphins. Since the beginning of 2021, the Dolphins have won every game against a starting quarterback whose last name contains the letter O. Again, let me say that again. Since the beginning of 2021, the Miami Dolphins have won every game against a starting quarterback whose last name contains the letter O. I'm not joking about this. Like, There's a tweet here from Brandon Matthews. This is the sort of analysis I love. Since the beginning of 2021, the Dolphins have won every game against a team with a quarterback whose last name contains an O. So, I guess that's a good sign for Josh Allen, because he has an O in his first name, because it's Josh, but his last name is Allen. So, there's no letter O in there. So, I guess that should favor Buffalo, right? Well, here's the thing with the Bills, though, okay? Is that the Bills are dealing with a lot of injuries, and that could tip the scales. Right now, Buffalo is, the Bills are a minus 5-point favorite? No. Dolphins should actually be favored in this game. But Buffalo, Jordan Poyer is questionable. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, out. Wake Forest just scored a touchdown. 19-yard reception for Blake Whiteheart. Ooh, that's a really nice catch. Wow. So the number 5 team in the country, the Clemson Tigers, are in serious danger against number 21 Wake Forest. And let's see. It is now. The extra point is up and good. So with 7:47 to go in the third quarter, Wake Forest is up 28-20. But for Buffalo, you've got safety Jordan Poyer. He's questionable. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, out. Tim Settle, defensive tackle, questionable. Mitch Morse, questionable. He's a centerman. Micah Hyde, safety, out. That's a depleted backfield for Buffalo. I'll even look at the full injury report, actually. Let's go to the Bills. Okay, so you got Micah Hyde. He's out. Mitch Morse, questionable. Tim Settle, questionable. Ed Oliver, out. Jordan Poyer, questionable. Gabe Davis, wide receiver, questionable. Dawson Knox, tight end, questionable. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, out. Dane Jackson, he is out. Marquez Stevenson, wide receiver, injured reserve. Tre'Davious White, cornerback, out. Ike Butker or something, guard, he's out. That's a lot of injuries for Buffalo, so they're depleted. Now, like I said earlier, you play who's on your schedule at certain times. So, I think Miami can actually pull this game out. And I'm picking the Dolphins to win this game. I think both teams are legit 2-0. The Bills have looked absolutely dominant in their first two games. They smashed the Rams 31-10. I should have played Gabe Davis in my fantasy league, but I didn't. And then they absolutely destroyed Tennessee on Monday Night Football last week, 41-7. Now they have a quick 2-game road trip because they're at Miami and then they're at Baltimore. Somehow both of these games, at Miami and at Baltimore, are both just regular 1 o'clock games. I have no idea how. I would have loved it if Bills-Ravens was the Thanksgiving nighttime game. That would have been a fantastic way to close it out. Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson. Wow. And then week 6, it's Bills-Chiefs. And then week 7, or October 30th, the day before Halloween. Hopefully I'll be getting back from New Jersey in time for this game. It's Packers-Bills. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Super Bowl 57 preview, maybe? Maybe? So, we'll see. But yeah, so this is a great weekend to be an NFL, or just a football fan in general, actually. And then, also, quick shout out to the Las Vegas Aces. They won the WNBA Finals and brought home Las Vegas's first major pro sports championship. Maybe the Raiders will bring home a Super Bowl one day. Maybe the Vegas Golden Knights will bring home a Stanley Cup someday. Although the Golden Knights right now are screwed because they set their Stanley Cup final run in 2018 was the worst thing that could have happened to them because they made their expectations ridiculously unreasonable afterwards. So yeah. And I would expect the Oakland Athletics to be moving to Vegas in the next few years. And it seems like Vegas is going to be getting an NBA team alongside Seattle. There is a rumor that that during the Trailblazers-Clippers game at Climate Pledge Arena on October 3rd, the NBA will announce expansion to Vegas and Seattle. There's been some pushback on that, but that rumor is going around. By the way, I'm not going to address everything that happened with Robert Sarver and Ime Udoka. I just don't want to touch on those subjects because, yeah, I just don't want to get into that area. The only thing I will say about the Robert Sarver thing is he announced his intentions to sell the Suns and Clippers. Now, I don't want to start any rumors, but hey, does that mean the Suns are for sure going to be in Phoenix moving forward? Who knows? What if Robert Sarver sells the team to a group outside of Phoenix? That's what Howard Schultz did. That's why we don't have the Seattle Supersonics. Howard Schultz sold the Supersonics to an Oklahoma City-based group. And what happened? The Supersonics were moved to Oklahoma City. Hence why we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's say Robert Sarver moves or sells the Phoenix Suns to a group based in Kansas City, for example. Do you really think the Kansas City-based group is going to say, let's keep the Suns in Phoenix? No, they would move the team to Kansas City. again, I'm not trying to start any type of rumor and say that the Suns are going to move out of Phoenix, but with this type of situation, you just never know. You just never know. Right now, Clemson is driving, trying to respond to the Wake Forest touchdown. DJ Uyangale with a nice run gets it up near the. It looks like they're just past the 50-yard line. There's an injured Demon Deacon on the field right now. 6:29 to go in the third quarter. Number 21 Wake Forest at 3-0 leads number 5 Clemson, who is also 3-0, 28-20. We are about an hour away from kickoff between the Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers. Like I said, I cannot wait for this game. Neyland Stadium is going to be their checkered game, so the end zones are going to be that orange and white checkerboard, which I love that tradition for Tennessee. By the way, I know Texas is also UT. No, I'm sorry, Texas Longhorns. I know I apologized to you earlier for jinxing you, but in this case, even though I'm not a Tennessee fan, I'm not a Volunteers fan by any means, but I don't dislike Tennessee either. They're just kind of, I'll watch their games. I find them entertaining, but Tennessee is the real UT. I don't care what they say. So right now, it's Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, Oklahoma. Actually, I want to give you the rest of the top 10. Right now, it is Georgia. Georgia's number 1. Alabama is number 2. Ohio State is number 3. Michigan is number 4. Clemson is number 5. Oklahoma is number 6. USC is number 7. Oklahoma State is number 8. I'll get back to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in a minute. Kentucky is number 9. Arkansas is number 10. North Carolina State is number 11. Although, no, I'm reading the AFCA coaches poll. My bad. Here's the actual AP top 25. And I'm going to give you all 25. So it's Georgia. Georgia's number 1. Alabama's number 2. Ohio State is number 3. Michigan is number 4. Clemson is number 5. Oklahoma is 6. USC is 7. Kentucky is 8. Oklahoma State is 9. Again, I'll get back to Oklahoma State in a minute. Arkansas is number 10. Tennessee is 11. Tennessee is 11. North Carolina State is 12. Utah is number 13. Penn State is number 14. Oregon comes in at number 15. Ole Miss at number 16. Baylor is number 17. Washington is number 18. BYU is number 19. Florida comes in at number 20. Wake Forest is number 21. Texas is number 22. Texas A&M is number 23. Pittsburgh is 24. And Miami is 25. Other teams receiving votes: Michigan State, Florida State, Appalachian State, North Carolina, Washington State, Cincinnati, Oregon State, Minnesota, Kansas, Syracuse, LSU, and Wisconsin. And the team that dropped from the rankings, Michigan State. So that's your top 25. Now, I said I would get back to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Here's why. With Oklahoma moving to the SEC alongside Texas, Bedlam, the rivalry game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, that game is ending because Oklahoma State is not following Oklahoma to the SEC. DJ Uyangale throws the pass. Oh, it's caught. First down, Clemson. Wow. Great pass from DJ Uyangale. And it is first and goal, Clemson. So, Anyway, getting back to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Yeah, Bedlam is ending once Clemson goes for the touchdown. No. It is now second and goal. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wake Forest 28, Clemson 20. So, yeah, Bedlam is ending. So, yeah. I don't think too many college football fans, though, are crying over spilled milk. In this case, that's what it is. Like, yeah, it's a great rivalry game, but we're going to get Oklahoma against Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, Oklahoma, Alabama. I'm more interested in those games. Clemson gets the touchdown. DJ Uyunglele with the pass. Let's see. Touchdown Clemson. Davis Allen with the 3-yard reception. And the Clemson Tigers make it 28-26. Ooh, they got him with the play action pass on that one. Let's see. Is Clemson going for 2? Or are they going for the extra point? It is currently 28-26, 4:29 to go in the third quarter. And yes, Clemson is going for the 2-point conversion to try and tie this game up. I'll give you a little bit of play-by-play. They have 3 receivers to the right. They had 1 receiver to the left. And what do we got here? Clemson calls their first timeout of the second half. So Wake Forest trying to hold on to a 28-26 lead with 4:29 to go in the third quarter. If it's 28-26 in the third quarter, what the heck is the final score going to be? What the heck? So, I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you for right now. Again, I'm not actually a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. It's just that I'm starting this new trend, or tradition, if you will. Unless I'm doing like a game preview video collaboration, whether that's Cleveland Cavaliers or Cleveland Browns, I'm going to be wearing a different team's hat for every video. It could be an NHL team's hat. It could be an NBA team's hat. Could be an NFL team's hat. Oh, Aaron Judge is coming back up. He's trying to tie Roger Maris's record against the ball. It would be fitting if Aaron Judge does it this weekend because he's facing the Boston Red Sox in New York. And if Judge does it, it would just add to the mystique of the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry. So Clemson's going for 2 points to try and tie this game up. And Uyunglele escapes the pressure, and they get the 2 points. So this game is tied. Clemson ties it up at 28. 4:29 to go in the third quarter. Number 5, Clemson 28. Number 21, Wake Forest 28. Aaron Judge up to bat for the Red Sox. For the Yankees. 1-0 the count. Yankees lead the Red Sox 4-3. Nick Pivetta is on the mound for the Red Sox. 1-0 the count. Runner on first. The pitch. And it's ball 2. 2-0 the count. 4-3 Yankees. Judge trying to tie Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs. Runner on first. Here's the next pitch. The pitch. Judge takes it. Ooh, they're calling that a strike. Really? 2-1 the count now. Alright. 2-1 the count. 4-3 Yankees. Runner on first. Bottom of the 5th inning. Alright. Here's the next pitch. Judge swings, and I'm not sure if he fouled that one off or if he swung and missed, but either way, the count is now 2-2. So Pavetta is looking for the strikeout here. He doesn't want to be the pitcher to give up history. Ooh, Wake Forest is looking for the deep shot. No, they cannot hit it. But there's a penalty marker on the field. That pitch is down low in the dirt. Runs the count full to 3-2. And they are going to call pass interference on Clemson. So that'll be an automatic first down for Wake Forest. The 3-2 pitch. Here's the set. And the pitch. Fouled off. So the count remains 3-2. Again, Aaron Judge trying to tie Roger Maris at 61 home runs, which would be an American League record. Nice pass by the Wake Forest quarterback to complete it, escape the pressure, and it'll be first down for Wake Forest. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, 28-28. Back over to the Red Sox and Yankees. Nick Pavetta is set. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 4. Aaron Judge walks. Runners on first and second now. Alright, so we are about less than, let's see, how long until 15:30?
It's 50 minutes until then.
We are 50 minutes away from 3:30, which is when kickoff of the Florida-Tennessee game is supposed to be. So, I'm going to end this video right here. They're showing a replay of the 2-point conversion, I think it was, for Clemson. So, actually, I'm going to take you not all the way up till the end of the third quarter, but at least till the end of this Wake Forest drive. 3rd down and 2, and the running back gets it. So, the drive continues for Wake Forest. Alright, so, actually, in the meantime, I'll keep giving you updates. We got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Wake Forest now in Clemson territory. Here's the snap. Quarterback's back to pass. Clemson pressuring him. He tries to hit the receiver. Can't quite do it. Ball goes out of bounds harmlessly. 2nd and 10. Sam Hartman was trying to hit a receiver there, but he was definitely being pressured. Hopefully you're enjoying my little bit of commentary for this Clemson-Wake Forest game. That was not actually my intention when I came up to record this video. We're at over an hour. Almost an hour and a half. They hand the ball off, and the running back will get some nice yards. First down, Wake Forest. As we've hit the 2 minute mark in the first half now. I don't know what Clemson was doing defensively. They had 4 defensive backs, way up. It's like they were expecting to pass or something. But anyway, here we go. They hand it off, and the running back will get maybe 2 yards at most on that one. Anyway, so the Wake Forest drive continues. Minute and a half to go in the first half. We are at, on this video, an hour and 20 minutes, but we're not going to stop. Because, as you can tell, I've got a lot to say. They hand it up. No, it's a play action. And did he get it? Did he make that catch? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Wake Forest. What a pass from Sam Hartman. A 25-yard touchdown pass to Donovan Green in the back of the end zone. Oh, boy, do I have to see a replay of this. What a pass. He gets the 1 foot down, and that's all you need in college football. College football needs to change that rule. It should be 2 feet in. But whatever. So, what a. That's amazing. 8 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 10 seconds for the drive, and Wake Forest goes up 35-28 over number 5 Clemson with a minute 19 to go in the third quarter. So, what the heck? It's 35-28 with a minute 19 to go in the third quarter. What the hell is the final score of this game going to be? Like 61-60? Like we saw with North Carolina and Appalachian State a few weeks ago? What the heck? Okay, so I thought it would be fun, actually. So next week, as long as Arkansas and Alabama win, both win their games, which I think Arkansas is going to beat Texas A&M, and if Alabama loses to Vanderbilt, something's wrong. Yeah, it's Penn State. Penn State is up 33-14 against Central Michigan. Michigan is up 24-13 against Maryland. Ooh, Penn State's actually keeping it somewhat close against Georgia. 32-22. Interesting. But as long as Alabama and Arkansas win, College Game Day is going to Fayetteville next week for that game between the Crimson Tide and the Razorbacks. The following week, let's see, what game could they go? They'll probably go to the Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma. I don't think they would have Alabama on College Game Day for a second consecutive week. Yeah, I don't see any other game that College Game Day would consider going to. So for week 6, the only logical game I see College Game Day going to is Texas, Oklahoma. For week 7, let's see, Alabama, Tennessee. Ooh, actually, you know what? For week 7, I'm going to say College Game Day will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan for Penn State, Michigan. Or they could be in Salt Lake City for USC and Utah. So for week 7, I think College Game Day will either be in Ann Arbor, Michigan for Penn State, Michigan, or Salt Lake City for USC against Utah. And then week 8, let's see, Iowa, Ohio State, no. I could see them going to Stillwater, Oklahoma for Texas against Oklahoma State. Yeah, that's the only game I see that they would go to. Week 9, let's see, week 9, Week 9, I think they'll be in State College for Ohio State, Penn State. That one's not even hard. Oh, but Michigan State is Michigan State, Michigan is that same day. And so is Florida against Georgia. Ooh, so you got a couple good choices, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be that College Game Day will be in State College for Ohio State, Penn State. Week 10, let's see, week 10, probably Alabama, LSU. No, actually, I think they'll be in Athens, Georgia for Tennessee against Georgia. Yeah. Or they'll be in Norman for Baylor, Oklahoma. One of those two games. And then week 11, let's see. Week 11, I would guess probably they'll be in the Grove for Alabama, Ole Miss. Or they could go to Eugene, Oregon for Washington against Oregon. And then week 12, my guess would be they'll go to Miami against Clemson or Oklahoma State against Oklahoma. That would be my guess. And then week 13, that is Thanksgiving weekend. This one's not even hard. they'll be in Columbus, Ohio for Michigan, Ohio State. That one's not even hard. Okay, so let's see where they're at for the third quarter. They're just showing a commercial for Fanstown right now. Weird. The one fans deserve. Now they're showing a commercial for Zeposia, a once daily pill. Who cares? I don't know why I'm telling you all this stuff. Probably because I want to. What the hell? I'm just waiting for Clemson Wake Forest to come back from a commercial break. And I'm also waiting for Florida Tennessee to start. Although I don't think I'm going to keep recording for this whole time because that's going to be a long video. Although, with the way I can just keep going and going and going and going, I could probably make that work. Although, I don't know how long you, the viewer, and how long you, the subscriber, could watch me just talk and talk and talk and talk. Actually, I've got the Thursday night football schedule right here. So we've already had Chargers, Chiefs, and then this week we had Steelers, Browns. Next week we have Dolphins, Bengals. I don't want that game on Thursday night football. I want that game on Sunday night football or Monday night football. After that we've got Colts, Broncos. That's a good game, but the problem is the Colts are only going to have Monday and Tuesday to get ready for the Broncos, because Wednesday they're going to have to travel to Denver. Washington, Chicago the week after. That's an okay game. Doesn't do anything for me. Saints, Cardinals, same problem as Indianapolis. The Saints are going to have to travel out to Arizona, so they'll probably only have Monday and Tuesday to get ready. Ravens, Buccaneers. That game should not be played on Thursday night football. That feels like a Sunday night football game or a Monday night football game. Eagles, Texans. Eagles are going to destroy the Texans, so that game should be just a regular Sunday game, not a Sunday night football, or not a Thursday night game. Falcons, Panthers. Okay, whatever. Titans, Packers. Yeah, that should be a pretty good game. I don't like that it's Thursday night football, though. Bills, Patriots, another one where I get it. It's an AFC East showdown. They had a pretty good games last season, but I don't think that should be Thursday night football. Raiders, Rams, that game should definitely not be Thursday night football. That game should be like in the 4 o'clock Eastern time window on a Sunday. Fourth quarter is just starting for Clemson and Wake Forest. Clemson has the ball first and 10. They're just past the 30-yard line. They're driving. DJ Uyunglele throws it, and the wide receiver gets close to the 20-yard line. Doesn't quite get there. It'll be second down. 49ers, Seahawks should be a pretty good game. Jaguars, Jets. Why is that game in Thursday night football? Why? Who cares? Cowboys, Titans. Why is that game on Thursday night football? Who cares? Then again, I think the NFL should just get rid of Thursday night football completely. I think it is absolute bullshit for the NFL to think, oh, this team just played on Sunday, so let's only give them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to get ready. Because a team's not going to practice, presumably, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, since they just play on Thursday. So, and I think the NFL needs to get rid of Thursday night football completely. I think it is so stupid, and you are doing your teams a major disservice. Like, teams might not be fully recovered from playing on Sunday, and now you're expecting them to turn around and get ready in basically 3 days to play on Thursday. No. As much as I like Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, I do like that pairing. No. I'm sorry. Thursday night football? No go. No. Maybe Friday, but that's the latest. No. And Clemson, they get the first down. They're inside the 10-yard line. It should be first and goal. We are about an hour away from Florida, Tennessee. No, not even an hour. 30 minutes, actually. And no, I'm not going to take you all the way up to kickoff between the Gators and Volunteers. Because, again, I don't know if I can even make it that long. Although, again, I can just sit here and talk and talk and talk and talk. So, current drive, 7 plays, 69 yards, about 4 minutes for Clemson. And they are not going to get the touchdown on that drive. They run for about 2 yards at best. So it's second and goal now for Clemson. Wake Forest holding a 35-28 lead with about 12 minutes to go. Second and goal. And we've got an injury on the field. A player is down for Wake Forest, so they'll probably step away for commercial break. So, here's my feelings with the Miami Dolphins. They destroyed the New England Patriots in Week 1 down in Miami. But that's not a surprise. Miami has been a house of horrors for New England over the past few years. And then they came back from a 21-point deficit to beat the Baltimore Ravens. That's an emotional 2 weeks for the Dolphins. Because you play the Patriots, and then you come back from 21 points down. Now you're facing Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Has Mike McDaniel, who might I add is a rookie head coach, this is his first year being a head coach in the league, has he been able to regulate the Dolphins' emotions, so that they're not too high, and they're not going into this game like, holy crap, we came back from a 21-point deficit last week, oh my god, that's what I'm most interested in with this game between the Bills and Dolphins, is how do the Dolphins come out and regulate themselves? Do they come out still riding this wave of excitement? And if they do, will that cost them? Because I bet you that if I was expecting the same thing with the Browns actually against the Steelers. Although with the Browns I was expecting them to come in to Thursday night football against the Steelers 2-0 for the first time since 1993. But Joe Woods was an idiot, and we blew a 13-point lead in 90 seconds to lose to the New York Jets 31-30. But I was worried that if we had gone into that game, this week's game against the Steelers 2-0, we would have been riding this wave of emotion, and we would have come out playing all sloppy and mistake-filled football. I was actually worried about that going into Week 2 against the Jets, being that in Week 1, it took a last-second field goal for us to beat the Panthers. But on top of that, it was our first opening day win since 2004. And the fact that we were playing our former quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who, everything that comes along with that. So, but it's the same thing with the Miami Dolphins, though not for the same reason. I get it. The Dolphins have owned the Patriots the past few years in Miami. I understand that. But still, that's a big win to come out and beat the Patriots, no matter what. So we're back from commercial break. But anyway, I want to finish this thought. So the Dolphins has Mike McDaniel been able to regulate their emotions and get them ready to play a very difficult Buffalo Bills team who everyone and their mother and their sister and their father is picking to win the Super Bowl. And, represent the AFC in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Clemson does not get the touchdown. They tried for the quarterback run with DJ Uyunglele. He came close, but he does not get there. It'll be 3rd down and goal for Clemson now. 11 and a half minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Wake Forest holding a 35-28 lead. Current play, they've gone 74 yards in 9 plays. Third and goal. They run it, and did he get there? Did he get the ball across the goal line? Yes, they do. Touchdown, Clemson. Will Shipley with a 1-yard run, and the Clemson Tigers are about to tie this game up again. Let's just check the replay. The hand is down, but that doesn't mean you're actually down. Ooh, that elbow might be down. I don't know. This is going to be close. And down. Is the ball across the goal line? Looks like the ball is across the goal line. It looks like the ball is across the goal line, so this touchdown should stand for Clemson. I think. Gosh, it's so hard to tell on this replay. They are reviewing it. So right now it is 35-34 Wake Forest. But again, they're reviewing this. Depending on what happens with this game, the result of this review could come under hot scrutiny. Just like with the Alabama-Texas game a few weeks ago. That should have been a safety for Texas when Bryce Young was hit in the end zone. Instead, they initially called it roughing the passer and targeting. They reviewed the play, and targeting was taken off the board, but the roughing the passer penalty stood stupidly, and Alabama, I believe that might have been the drive where Alabama went down and kicked the game-winning field goal. Let's see. After review, the result of the call on the field stands. Touchdown Clemson, 35-34. Now, let's see what they do. Clemson, they went 10 plays and 76 yards in 5 minutes. And they will kick the extra point to tie this game up 35-35. But yes, to reemphasize, I know Texas is the one that the players are the ones that go out there and they make the plays, and they're the ones catching the passes, and they're the ones making the tackles and whatnot. But Texas Longhorns fans and Texas, I will take partial responsibility for why you guys lost against Alabama 2 weeks ago. I definitely jinxed you guys, and so I take responsibility for that. But actually, let me look at Alabama's remaining schedule. Because I'm interested. Let's see. Yeah, Alabama is favored by 40.5 against Vanderbilt. That's funny. Okay, so after Vanderbilt, Alabama is at Arkansas. Then they'll be home against Texas A&M, at Tennessee, home against Mississippi State, at LSU, at Ole Miss. Then they get basically a walkthrough game against Austin Peay. And then they have the Iron Bowl against Auburn. Okay, so I could see Alabama losing on the road at Arkansas. I could see Alabama possibly losing at home against Texas A&M. Actually, I see 3 straight games where Alabama could lose. At Arkansas, home against Texas A&M, at Tennessee. Although I'll just say it outright. I don't like Alabama. I don't. So even though I'm not an Arkansas fan, I'm not a Texas A&M fan, I'm not a Tennessee fan, I'm hoping at least one of those teams knocks off Alabama. Although my hope would actually be that two of them do. I think the best chance for that would be at Arkansas and at Tennessee. Um, Alabama has the benefit of playing Texas A&M at home, which should benefit them, although you never know. Stranger things have happened. We are almost at the 2-hour mark, actually, for this video. Wow. We are 25 minutes away from kickoff between the Florida Gators and Tennessee Volunteers. But this game between Clemson and Wake Forest has been ridiculous so far. We're tied at 35. Big play. Yes, they've got it. Sam Hartman with a beautiful pass to number 80. Excuse me. What a play. Oh, I got to see a replay of this. Oh, Wake Forest is going no huddle, so we're not going to see a replay. But Wake Forest is already inside the 20-yard line. And they hand the ball off and get nothing. So, as of right now, Clemson is staying in the ACC. Since it was announced that UCLA and USC were moving to the Big Ten, we haven't seen anything. Although I've heard reports that Oregon and Washington were both interested in joining the Big Ten. And then I heard another report later on that the Big 12 wants to add some teams from the Pac-12. So I'm hearing mixed things. But if I'm the Big Ten and Oregon and Washington both want to join, I'm saying, yeah, come on in, Oregon Ducks. Come on in, Washington Huskies. Those would be two great additions to the Big Ten. I just can't wait to see what it's going to be like for USC and UCLA when they get off the plane in Madison, Wisconsin in December and it's snowing and it's like 10 degrees. Like, what the hell? Like, that's going to be hilarious to me. So, Wake Forest, they cannot convert the third down, which will bring up fourth down, so they'll have to settle for the field goal. So they'll presumably go up 38-35 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Again, number 21 Wake Forest is trying to knock off number 5 Clemson. Wake Forest is at home. The kick is up and the kick is good. So Wake Forest does go up 38-35 with 8:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Dabo Swinney and the Clemson offense will get the ball back, though. Again, first of all, I know Dabo Swinney is the head coach. I know. The quarterback is actually DJ Uyunglele, but in this case, I wanted to say Dabo Swinney and the Clemson offense will get the ball back. So, yeah. We got about 20 minutes till Florida, Tennessee. At this point, I think I might just take you right up till kickoff. We're already at the hour 43 mark. So, and I'm really enjoying giving you this play-by-play of this Clemson-Wake Forest game. And as you can tell, I can just keep talking and talking and talking all day. So, yeah. So, this is still talking football. I know I've threw in a little bit of baseball in there, but this is still talking football. I would say the biggest surprise of the NFL season so far, looking at the standings, let's see. Okay, go away, Alabama. Go away, Alabama. Go away, Alabama. Go away, Alabama. Forget the Crimson Tide. Nobody likes you. Go away, Alabama. Go away, Alabama. Go away, Alabama. Forget the Crimson Tide. Nobody likes you at all. Nobody. Yeah. That was your little musical number for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, congratulations to Albert Pujols for getting 700 home runs. I would have loved it if he had gotten that milestone in Busch Stadium in St. Louis. But if there was any other ballpark for him to do it in, it's fitting that he did it in Los Angeles because, Dodger Stadium, Hollywood, Los Angeles, the story writes itself. But in terms of the NFL, I'm looking at the standings. Right now, the Dolphins lead the AFC East. They are 2-0. Bills are in second. They're also 2-0. And then the Jets and Patriots are 3-4 in the AFC East, but they're both 1-1. The Browns currently are leading the AFC North. They are 2-1, but it depends on what happens with the Ravens against the Patriots on Sunday. The Steelers are 1-2, and then the Bengals are 0-2. The Jacksonville Jaguars are leading the AFC South. They're the only team in the division with a win. Yeah, let me say that again. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the only team in the AFC South with a win. The Houston Texans are in second place with a record of 0-1-1. The Indianapolis Colts are in third place with a record of 0-1-1. And the Tennessee Titans are in last place with a record of 0-2. In the AFC West, you've got Kansas City at 1-1. Or I'm sorry, the Kansas City Chiefs are 2-0. My mistake on that one. Ooh, big return by Clemson. The Chargers are second. They are 1-1. The Denver Broncos are third. They're 1-1. The Las Vegas Raiders are in last place at 0-2. Over in the NFC, the Eagles lead the NFC East. They are 2-0. Followed by the New York Giants. They are 2-0. Washington Commanders are third at 1-1. The Dallas Cowboys are also 1-1. Over in the NFC North, Minnesota leads the division at 1-1, followed by the Green Bay Packers at 1-1. Detroit is third, 1-1. Chicago, fourth, 1-1. NFC South, Tampa Bay leads the division at 2-0. New Orleans is in second at 1-1. Carolina is third at 0-2. And the Atlanta Falcons are fourth at 0-2. In the NFC West, everybody is 1-1. So it's the 49ers in first, the Rams in second, the Seahawks in third, and the Arizona Cardinals in fourth. So back to Clemson, Wake Forest. We've got 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation. Clemson is driving. We're at almost the 2-hour mark for this video. Hopefully when you're watching this, because this is not a live stream, this is just a regular video, hopefully you actually stay and watch this whole thing. It is 3rd down and 2 for Clemson. They are just into Wake Forest territory. I wouldn't say they're in field goal range. DJ Uyunglele, I don't know if that was a design quarterback run. It didn't look like it. But either way, it was good enough to get Clemson the first down, so the drive continues. Yeah, Clemson's the best team in the ACC. That's not even a question. I know, Clemson didn't win the ACC last year. I think it might have been, it was Pittsburgh who won the ACC last year. But no, that was just a one-off. Clemson's the best team in the ACC, but it's Georgia, it's Alabama. Oh, they get the sack! Great defense by Wake Forest. They contain DJ Uyunglele in the pocket, and they get the sack. Oh, I gotta see a replay of this. Let's see what happened. Oh, I see. they tried to get the play action pass, and they thought the running back was going to be able to block the defender coming in, but the defender took a different route, and they got the sack. So that will make it 2nd and 19 with 5.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Wake Forest trying to knock off the number 5 team in the country. Clemson, Uyungale, DJ back to pass. He'll run. He'll get some of the yards back. Yeah, but Clemson's the best team in the ACC by far. Actually, I shouldn't say by far, because right now they're trailing Wake Forest 38-35. 5 minutes to go. If Clemson were to leave the ACC, I would want them to join the Big Ten, because then we would get Penn State, Clemson, Clemson, Michigan, Clemson, Michigan State, Clemson, Wisconsin, Clemson, Minnesota, Clemson, Ohio State. That's the obvious one. That's why I left it off till last. But, those are intriguing matchups to me. Don't get me wrong. If Clemson went to the SEC, we would get some fantastic matchups. Clemson against Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Clemson, Florida, Clemson against Tennessee, Clemson, Arkansas, Clemson against Texas A&M. Those would be some great matchups. Clemson's going for the field goal. B.T. Potter, he's going for a field goal. It'll be a 52-yard attempt to try and tie this game up. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So this game is tied once again, 38-38. 4:01 to go in regulation. Good Lord, this game is nuts. Florida, Tennessee, you're going to have a tough act to follow. Good Lord. Let's see what's happening with... Okay, Michigan's asserting their dominance over Maryland now. It's 34-19. That's about what I was expecting. Let's see. And what other games are on right now? Missouri and Auburn are tied 14-14 with 1:13 to go in the fourth quarter. That game, it doesn't really do anything for me. Yay, it's the Battle of Tigers. Woohoo! But as a Penn State fan, we destroyed Auburn last week, so yeah, whatever. And Missouri, sorry, you should not be in the SEC. No, Missouri, you don't belong in the SEC. No. The SEC should have said no to Missouri. It is quite stupid that they are. Geographically, it doesn't make sense at all. So, yeah. If Missouri really wanted to leave, though, I guess they could have joined the Big Ten. I don't know. But then again, none of those matchups really do anything for me. Like Missouri, Wisconsin, Missouri, Minnesota. Ooh, big pass. Ooh, did he make that catch? He did. And Missouri's in the red zone with 1 minute to go. Wow. It's 1st and goal now. Huh. Nice pass there. That was a deep pass, too. Wow. Oh, that's a fantastic catch. But Missouri, can you capitalize? Less than 1 minute to go. 49 seconds to go. What? Why is there a stop? Why'd the clock stop? Oh, Auburn called the timeout. That's why. It's weird to me. Like, you got the Missouri Tigers, you got the Auburn Tigers, you got the LSU Tigers, you've got the Memphis Tigers. That's 4 teams right there with the same name of Tigers. You have the Northwestern Wildcats, you have the Kentucky Wildcats, That's two teams with the name Wildcats right there. Like, come on. What? What? Oh, I forgot the Clemson Tigers. That's 5 teams right there. Clemson, Auburn, LSU, Memphis, Missouri. That's 5 teams right there. I'm sure I'm missing one. Whatever, though. But it's just like, come on. Can't you come up with other names that are more original? They try a quarterback run? Oh, no. They were just trying to take a knee to get in better field goal position. So now Auburn's going to call the timeout. Let's go back to Clemson, Wake Forest. It is Wake's ball, 4 minutes to go. Excuse me. Ooh, they get the handoff, and they get some nice positive yards on that one. We'll check back in a minute. 45 seconds to go. 14-14 between Missouri and Auburn. Second and goal. Notre Dame plays North Carolina tonight. Wisconsin, Ohio State. Wisconsin, Paul Chryst and the Badgers have given Ohio State trouble in the past. I know this is the blackout game for Ohio State, but I'm not picking Wisconsin to pull off the upset. I think Ohio State's going to be too much, but I think Wisconsin's going to keep it closer than many of the experts think. It's Big Ten. Wisconsin always seems to give Ohio State some sort of issue. We all remember what happened in 2010. Ohio State came in as the number 1 team in the country to Camp Randall Stadium. And Wisconsin was ranked number 18, I believe it was. And Wisconsin absolutely dismantled them. And the Badgers would go on to... I don't remember what happened with Wisconsin, but yeah, Ohio State lost that game. I remember that. So, as much as I would love to see Wisconsin beat Ohio State, it's not going to happen. At least I shouldn't say it's not going to happen, because if anything, if week 2 from the NFL season taught us anything, it's never say never until the clock hits 000. I definitely learned my lesson from that last week, and I definitely learned my lesson with the Texas-Alabama game. Which, again, I apologize, Texas fans. I think I jinxed your team, and that's why they lost. Along with the referees incorrectly not calling it a safety. 3 seconds to go. And Missouri presumably is going to kick the game-winning field goal and escape Jordan Hare with a Jordan Hare Stadium in Auburn with a 17-14 lead. 17-14 victory, I should say. And we are about 2 minutes away from hitting the 2-hour mark on this video. I knew with this type of video I could go long on it. Alright. Here we go. 26-yard attempt for the win. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. No good. No good. And we will go to overtime in Jordan Hare Stadium. It is the Missouri Tigers 14 and the Auburn Tigers 14. All right. So I thought Missouri was going to get out. Whoa, what the heck? We've got a minute and a half to go in the fourth quarter between Clemson and Wake Forest. Wake Forest has the ball, and wow, that was not a good play design. They tried to run the ball, and Clemson just said, yeah, no, you're not doing that. All right, I'm going to keep recording, and I'm going to keep giving you commentary because I'm enjoying doing this. And here we go, Wake Forest. Back to pass. Sacked! And that will bring up third down. 1 minute to go. This game is tied 38-38. All Wake Forest needs to do is get into field goal range. But that's going to be easier said than done, as I think we're going to a commercial break. I think. Maybe not. They're just showing replays of the sack right now. I have the sound off because just in case the sound comes over my microphone. Nope, we did go to a commercial break. So, regardless of whether Clemson wins this game or not, I think they should fall in the standings a little bit. Because right now, like I said, they're number 5 in the country. But, for me, yeah, let's just say Clemson wins, okay? For the sake of argument, let's say Clemson wins. Well, you won, but you went to overtime against number 21. I'm not going to penalize Clemson too badly, but I would drop them from number 5 down to number 8, meaning Oklahoma would move up to 5, USC would move up to 6, and Kentucky would move up to 7. It's the same thing I would have done with Alabama against Texas. Yes, Alabama, you beat Texas, but you needed a last-second field goal. So I would have dropped them from number 1 down to number 6, actually. Meaning Georgia moves up to 1, Ohio State to 2, Michigan to 3, at that time Clemson to 4, Oklahoma to 5, USC to 6, and Oklahoma State to 7. Or I'm sorry, no. It would have been Georgia to 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, Clemson 4, Oklahoma 5, USC 6, and then Alabama comes in at number 7. That's what I would have done. Personally. The way they did it, though, they dropped Alabama down to number 2. Ohio State stayed at number 3. Michigan remained at 4. Clemson remained at 5. Oklahoma at 6. USC at 7. Oklahoma State at 9. Or at 8, I'm sorry. Kentucky at 9. And Arkansas at 10. So for me, again, I would have moved Georgia up to 1. Ohio State would have been 2. Michigan 3. Clemson 4. Oklahoma 5. USC 6. Oklahoma State 7. And Alabama comes in at number 8. Yes, I would have penalized Alabama that much. Maybe that's because maybe that's my dislike for Alabama coming out. Whatever. Oh, we are about 3 minutes away from kickoff between Florida and Tennessee. Oh, actually, my bad. According to CBS, we're about 12 and a half minutes away from kickoff between the Florida Gators and Tennessee Volunteers. Florida is 2-1 overall. They are 0-1 in conference play. Tennessee is 3-0, and this is their first conference game. Florida, Tennessee, in 12 minutes from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. It is the checkered game. So, I believe actually when Ohio State comes to play Penn State, it is going to be the stripe out game. Which, again, I think is... I'm not too upset with that, but it's weird. Like, usually, when Ohio State or Michigan come to town for Penn State, that's the whiteout game. So, although, like I said much earlier in the video, last year, Penn State did the whiteout game against Auburn because that was a huge non-conference game. So it made sense. But traditionally, the whiteout comes against Michigan or Ohio State. But this year, I will look it up just to make sure. Penn State. Yeah. I'm going to go to PennLive.com. Penn State football's whiteout, stripe out games for 2022 announced. Penn State's whiteout game will be a primetime clash with Big Ten West foe Minnesota. Um, the game against Ohio. So the whiteout game is against Ohio State. Or I'm sorry, the whiteout is the whiteout game is against Minnesota, and the stripeout game is against Ohio State, which I don't, like I said, I don't have too much of an issue with that. Maryland loses to Michigan State. Michigan beats Ohio. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Maryland just lost to Michigan 34-27. Baylor beats Iowa State 31-24. 4th and 5 for Wake Forest. 49 seconds to go. And Wake Forest is punting. Okay. So, I guess Wake Forest really trusts their defense. And that's good. That punt's going to take a Wake Forest turn. And Clemson will have it with 39 seconds to go. In regulation, we are tied 38-38. 1st and 10 for the Clemson Tigers. Again, I'm going to stay with you at least through regulation. If this game goes into overtime, we will see. But I'm just enjoying being recording this video and talking to you and giving you play-by-play of what's happening between Clemson and Wake Forest. I'll check in on Missouri and Auburn. We are in overtime. It is Auburn ball. And there's some type of flag on the play, but oh well. Let's see. Has Florida Tennessee started yet? Doesn't look like it has started yet. Anthony Richardson is the quarterback for Florida today. He needs to get better with his decision making. I think I think with him it's too many times where he's passing. Or I'm sorry, where he's running and not passing. That's what I meant to say. Florida Tennessee, one of my favorite rivalries in college football. Actually, Florida Tennessee is one of my favorite rivalries in all of sports. It really is. I quite love this rivalry. Wow. Oh yeah, I remember Tim Tebow and Peyton Manning went to school at Tennessee. Yeah, there have been some special games. Josh Dobbs, yep. He's the third string quarterback actually for Cleveland. Yeah. I would actually like to. Actually, since I just brought that up, I want to mention this. Jacoby Brissett has been doing a good job as the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. I liked that he got the wide receivers involved a little bit more this week with Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Again, Anthony Schwartz was nowhere to be seen. He was definitely going to the tight end David Njoku a lot. And again, we rode the dynamic duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But I would like to see the Browns use a little bit of a wildcat. Like, Josh Dobbs did a great job in preseason running. Like, when he got the opportunity to run the ball, he did a really good job with it. So, I would like to see the Browns utilize a bit of a wildcat. Obviously not at all the time. I'm not suggesting that. But, why not? Why not occasionally have Jacoby Brissett come out of the game and bring in Josh Dobbs? Give the defense a bit of a different look than what they were expecting. I bet you, on Thursday Night Football, the Steelers would not have been expecting to see Josh Dobbs. I know the Falcons are preparing for the Seahawks right now. But when Atlanta goes to start preparations to play against us next week, do you think they're really going to be preparing for Josh Dobbs? No, they're going to be preparing for Jacoby Brissett and our run game. So why not throw in a little bit of a different wrinkle in there and do the Wildcat? Why not? All right, Florida, Tennessee looks like it's just about to start. And we got about 7 minutes till Notre Dame and North Carolina. Marcus Freeman got his first win as Notre Dame's head coach last week against Cal. Ooh, we are going to overtime between Clemson and Wake Forest. So, I'm not going to stay with you till overtime because I just don't want to. I stayed with you this far. Maybe I should. All right, here's the coin toss. I'm trying to hear the rules. All right. Referee is showing the coin. Here's the So, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see. Because overtime's different with college football. I don't think they do a kickoff or anything. I'm pretty sure they just start from the 25-yard line, offense, defense. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Wake Forest. Clemson has 179 yards rushing, Wake Forest 89. Wake Forest 329 yards passing, Clemson 325. Clemson has 504 total yards, Wake Forest has 418. So we are in overtime. It'll be Clemson's ball next. We start from the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. The handoff, and nice run by the Wake Forest running back. Okay, so the way I'm pretty sure the way overtime works is like Wake Forest will get the ball and they'll have an opportunity to do something with it. Clemson will then get the ball and have their chance to respond. They hand the ball off and I think they get looks like they get the first down. And Tennessee is just making the run out of onto the field through the famous T, like they always do. Before this game starts, I'm picking Tennessee to win. I think Tennessee's really going to be a dangerous, dangerous team this year. I could see Tennessee possibly getting to the SEC championship over Georgia. Seriously, I could. I know, that's a crazy take. I know. Let's see, does Tennessee has to play Georgia this year, right? Because they're both in the SEC East. Let's see. When does Tennessee play Georgia? Tennessee will be at Georgia. Okay, so Tennessee's remaining schedule. They host Florida, then they're at LSU, then they host Alabama, then they get a cupcake game against UT Martin, then they host Kentucky, then they're at Georgia, they host Missouri, at South Carolina, at Vanderbilt. So, it's going to be a treacherous road for Tennessee. 3rd and 3 for Wake Forest. It'll be Clemson's ball next. Sam Hartman, back to pass. Looking. Touchdown, Wake Forest! And the Demon Deacons take the lead. A.T. Perry with the 8-yard reception. He was left all alone in the end zone. What the heck happened? That was some type of defensive breakdown. All right. So, I'm going to stay with you till the end of overtime, which I think Wake Forest is about to pull this game off. Here comes the all-important extra point, though, to go up 45-38. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Wake Forest goes up 45-38. Sam Hartman is 20 of 27, 337 yards. He has thrown for a school record 6 touchdowns today, 0 interceptions. So a fantastic game for Sam Hartman. Now it's up to the Wake Forest defense. Can they hold Clemson? Because Clemson now gets the chance to respond. 25, same spot, 25-yard line. And they'll have 4 downs. With that offense led by DJ Uyunglele, I could see this going to a second overtime. But you never know. So 1st and 10 for Clemson. They have 2 receivers on the top of the screen. They send a man in motion, and it's a quarterback draw, and DJ Uyunglele goes nowhere. 2nd down. Looked like a loss of a couple yards, actually. Yes. Really? He actually made it back to the line of scrimmage. Wow. 2nd and 10. Oh, the Wake Forest fans are like, oh my God, are we actually about to do this? 2nd and 10. 2 receivers on either side. Uyunglele looks to pass, gets the putt, completes it, but not for much yardage. That'll bring up 3rd down. We are at 2 hours and 17 minutes on this video. Hope you're enjoying it, by the way. If you are, punch that like button like a UFC fighter. And if you haven't already, punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter. It's 3rd down and 6. It's now or never for Clemson. Or actually, no, it's not, because if they don't get the first down here, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They have no choice. They have 3 receivers to the right side, or no, to the left. The pass is up, and caught! Touchdown, Clemson! And we are tied. Or, not yet. A 21-yard touchdown reception. What a play. Oh my gosh. And what a freaking game. Holy crap. What a freaking football game. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I'm broadcasting this. All right. Clemson gets the extra point. So we are tied 45-45, and we will go to a second overtime. However, I'm not going to be joining them for a second overtime. And this is where I'm actually going to end this video. Thank you for joining me on this journey. We have reached the end, and it will end at the 2-hour 19 mark, which is in 15 seconds. So, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter and punch that like button.